Alright, so this is the front of my folder, and I just put some words and some pictures to kind of describe what I show people, how I feel about special education. So I put empathy, because I think I show that I have empathy for people who have special needs. I put support, because something that I feel strongly about as a future special education teacher is providing support to children who have disabilities. I think I'm caring towards children with disabilities, and that's why I want to teach them. I have a picture of all different kinds of students here, and it says learning knows no bounds, and I think that just kind of represents any child has the ability to learn no matter what situation life has thrown at them. I have be an advocate, because as a special education teacher I have the chance to be an advocate for students with disabilities. And then I have some pictures to kind of explain. So this is just someone kind of, being a shoulder to lean on. And I think that's something as a special ed teacher, it's not all about teaching academics, it's just being someone that child knows that they can lean on and go to. This is a bunch of different people lifting one person up to complete a puzzle. And I think that as a special education teacher, you work a lot with other teachers and other people on your team to help that one child get where they need to be and to reach goals set for them. It's really awesome. And then this is a person that's made up of all different colors. And I like it because it shows that everyone's different, and I think it's good for students with disabilities. They're all unique, and they all have a disability that hinders them, but they also have great things about them that are special that other people who are non-disabled don't have. So you can just find the good in anybody. And then lastly, I have the word autism, because that's kind of how I discovered my passion for teaching students with disabilities, because I love working with children affected by autism, and they really hold a special place in my heart. Alright, so now on the back, some things that I don't often like to share about special education are education. This photo says education costs. So funding, everyone knows, is always changing and always up in the air, kind of. Public education doesn't get a lot of funding as it is already, and it's tough because children with special needs oftentimes need more, I guess you could say, and it's tough because sometimes the funding just isn't there. This one says stop bullying. I realize these are all backwards, so I'm trying to explain them as best as I can, because I know a lot of the children with disabilities will face bullying at some time in their life, and it's really sad to think about, and I don't like to think about it, and when I think about it, it just makes me so upset that there'd be anyone that could be that cruel to a child that cannot help the cards they were dealt. This says notice, intolerance will not be tolerated, because there's a lot of people who are intolerant towards students with disabilities, and that's too bad. There's even, sadly to say, there's even teachers, general education teachers, that aren't very accommodating to these children at times, and that's pretty sad, because as a teacher you should care for all of your students equally. Lastly, this is like a street sign, and it says education this way, special that way. And one other thing I think people don't like to discuss when it comes to special education is that oftentimes special education children, no matter the efforts to make it inclusive, they're still kind of off as in their own group, and I think that is also where the bullying can stem from sometimes, because those kids are put off in that room, or they're always traveling as a group, or stuff like that. So it's easy to get special education students kind of tossed into that group, and then you can't picture them being with non-disabled peers, and that's also too bad. Alright, lastly, these are my able-bodied privilege statements. My first one says, I can easily make friends similar to myself, so it's easy for me to find people similar to me. When I go to a concert, I can sit anywhere. I love going to concerts, and I've never really thought about the fact that buying a ticket is no big deal for me because I don't have any special any accommodations that need to be made for me when I go. This one says, I am able to speak for myself, so I can talk to anyone, say my feelings, my opinions without the help of someone else or without just simply not being able to speak at all. This one says, I can choose my outfit and dress myself. I don't have to worry about someone else telling me what to wear, or it's not a hassle for me. I can easily put on my own clothes while people might need someone to do it for them. My last one says, I can easily go anywhere on my own schedule, which is a big one, I think, because we all don't really think about how easy it is for us to just get in our car and drive to the store when we are out of something. But for someone with a disability, that is a planning process, and they're going to need to figure out who can take them and if the store will be accommodating and they can get around easily in the store. So 5 things, lots more to think about than just 5, but those are the 5 that I listed in my folder. And there you go.